Good evening. Welcome to KQ.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Ken.
I'm Kevlon. It's good to see y'all. Definitely appreciate everybody jumping in. Want you to like and subscribe. Go in and please, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we don't mind. We don't care. Comment on the videos, please. This is only attempt to establish a dialogue between us as citizens of the United States of America. It is our responsibility as citizens to go in and get engaged in the political process. People actually died for our right to vote and for our right for participation, and we're going to participate because if we don't participate, what they say, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yeah, that's what it is. You ain't on the table, you're on the menu,
That's
baby.
what they thought. So we're gonna give y'all our natural Montgomery swing in. 1, 2, 3. Better buckle your knee.
See.
All right. So today, what we're going to talk about is very simple. It just so turns out that we get a great chance today to juxtapose the media attention and the slant, if you will, that they give to Democrats versus Republicans.
Yep, very simple and plain. A big story will drop on left media, and then it seems like a simultaneous effort on the right to drop something totally contradictory. Something I don't know. I mean, but either way it goes, far as we know, we weren't in the studio with these guys writing these stories. I wasn't in Bangladesh with my camera out recording anything. So only thing I have to go on is what the media tells me. So if you are stuck just listening to one side of it all the time, you're gonna miss something. Or you can just be completely propagandized. I mean, who knows? MSNBC could be putting out just straight propaganda, and I could be gone hook, line, and sinker. Kind of doubt it, but it is what it is. I mean, that's all we got. It's just the media that we got, and it's up to you to dig deeper, try to find stories, try to find the backstory. What I like to do is to look up the credible witnesses that they put on there and watch all of the videos from all of these witnesses that say that they saw this nefarious stuff. My favorite to bring up is always John Paul McIsaac. I just love his name. And that guy is hilarious.
Well, he was the one who received the laptop at the computer repair shop.
Yeah,
right?
the blind guy. Yeah, completely blind. He can only see 5 inches in front of his face. He uses his big giant magnifying glass to work on the computer.
And supposedly Hunter Biden showed up with the laptop and gave it to him to work on several laptops, as a matter of fact. He never showed back up to pick it up. So quite naturally, just like any
reputable
business, you're gonna make copies of it and call Rudy Giuliani.
Yep, and dig through all the files yourself to see what nefarious pictures you can find on somebody else's laptop.
And if you and so that's the origin of the laptop. It got presented to the FBI. The FBI does what they do, forensic analysis, and they basically couldn't determine that there was a crime committed through that laptop because there was stuff added to the laptop. Oh, and by the way, it's not a laptop, it's a hard drive.
Right.
So there was stuff added to the hard drive that were beyond the capacity of the hard, that made what was stored on the hard drive beyond its capacity. So, and there's tags and everything else that come along with email messages and stuff, and you can see the origin of the metadata.
Yeah.
So it was not something that the FBI could work with. So it's fruit of the poison tree. All goes away because there's nothing there. Rudy Giuliani basically toyed with it and added what he wanted to, and got help literally from the Russians, but that's a whole nother story. So John Paul McIsaac, they presented now that the laptop story was absolutely true. But
yeah, if you dig in the weeds just a little bit and just watch,
it don't take much digging. It don't take much digging
of John Paul McIsaac, and there's plenty of them out there available online. I've watched all of them.
And we're gonna do.
I set up my notifications so I can find out when the guy's online.
And we're gonna do a rendition of that. We're gonna comb through the whole John Paul McIsaac thing. Won't be for those faint of heart people that ain't really, that really want to get into the weeds.
Yeah, the people that believe this Hunter Biden laptop bill. You look at John Paul McIsaac, you find out there's some holes in this story.
Hole in the wall. Let's go down.
Hole in the
head. All right. So today's stories had to do with two. We're gonna just compare 2 or 3 things here. First one being, y'all heard. Apparently, the Republicans, they done did it again. They came out with a story saying, doggone it, I got him. I got Joe Biden. He's definitely corrupt. And we got a payment going from China to Joe Biden's address. And it had to do with Hunter Biden. And boy, we got him now. So we're going to do that story. And we're going to compare it to some things that are going on in right-wing world. Upside down world, as you those with knowledge would refer to it. So let's go ahead and we'll start with story number. I call it story number 1, as they used to say on King Hill. All right. So, this was Hunter Biden's story saying that the oversight, the serious committee that is investigating Hunter Biden. This is on top of the investigation that they're doing in the Justice Department by the guy who Trump appointed. They've been going for about 5 years now, and it's still. And they got down. And we went on a different post that we did where we talked about them charging him, David Weiss, charging him for filling out a gun application improperly. You know, I know that's one of the worst things y'all fear is that that in this world somebody could possibly have the gumption as a human being, an American human being, to fill out a gun application wrong. Yeah. But they finally got him after 5 years. Well, this is the new bombshell. House Oversight Republicans say new bank subpoena shows Hunter Biden listed his father's Wilmington address in wires from China. So he got an old wire. So what did that mean? A wire came from China. A private citizen's wire came from China, and it had Joe Biden's address on it. It didn't have Joe Biden's name on it. It was to Hunter Biden.
Wait a minute, Kev. First of all, when you get a wire transfer, does something show up in the mail?
No, they send it to a bank account.
They send it to a bank account.
Either that or a cash app.
And he used...
It's 2023, ain't it?
Well, he used his father's address as his address at that bank.
Yeah, the address he gave, he had the nerve to give to that bank in China that he got that loan from. He put his daddy address on it, man. You know good well, you ain't never used your mama address on nothing.
I use it for everything, actually.
Man, I don't believe that, man. That's wrong, man.
I get all kinds of statements and stuff there.
You shouldn't do that.
I'm kind of a free spirit, though I'm in love.
Man, you living on the edge, bro.
But hey, it is what it is, baby.
So Hunter Biden did the same thing. He did the same thing my brother did. Matter of fact, I had forgot, but I did it too. I still got a bank account, and they still be sending stuff to my mama's house, you know, with my name on it. They do it all the time. But that doggone dude in the Republican caucus, he done figured out that Hunter Biden did the same thing. He used his daddy address, man. I can't believe he did that, man. Yeah. This was all over Fox News. I went and worked out, did my little elliptical for like an hour, and I'm sitting there looking at Fox News like, no, Hunter Biden, all of the public offices that you're in, there's no way you could have used your daddy's address. Don't do this to me. But then I realized the reports that I heard, and I haven't validated these, but I've heard that he was using his daddy's address as his residential address at the time. So they done dug back in and found some bank records that showed that one set of transfers came from China. They listed the names of some people, and they listed the total dollar amount, $250,000 from Jonathan Lee and Tan Ling. Both of these wires listed Joe Biden's home address in Wilmington, Delaware, as the beneficiary address. Woo-wee!
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, he should be thrown under the jail for that, right? That matches the espionage charges that they got on Trump right now.
Oh, yeah.
Where he took the documents and lied to the federal government and said, I don't have these documents. There's nothing, I don't have them. I get he got his lawyers to sign documents and everything, just saying that we've given everything back. And then after they raided him, they found out that was a total farce. But they had a wire transfer. This is the type of thing that gets blown up on this side. And let me tell you, this is CNN. I don't think that CNN is all perfect and on the up and up and all of that, but they're definitely not Fox News or Newsmax. They're not like right-wing propaganda organizations. But at the same time, they take this stuff seriously. They look at it and they give it a good once-over. And they don't say in the beginning, this type of corruption is totally different than the corruption that we're seeing on the side of Trump. They're excluding that deep analysis to say, are we being really fair and objective? They're giving this the same type of weight that they're going to give these other stories that we're going to look at in a second. The other things that happened today. They put this on par with that type of story. But at the same time, it just so happens that this same organization, let's see, here, this was a documented loan, not a distribution or payout that was wired from a private individual to his bank account, this was a loan. So he has to pay it back. If you go to a different country and you get a loan, you can put the address on there that you want them to attach to that loan. And their rules in that country will dictate whether or not they can use that particular address. Whatever address they pick, it don't matter. The name of the person who got the loan was not Joe Biden. Was not Hunter Biden. It was Joe Biden. So I'm just asking you.
Well, Hunter got the loan.
Yeah, the person who got the loan was not Joe. It was Hunter.
Right. Bingo.
Yeah. So I don't get why this is something. And so just so you know, we had one of our faithful friends from back in the day in our Georgia days send us a message today, and he sent it to us hot off the press, hook, line, and sinker. I got you. Look at what Hunter Biden and Joe are up to. And as we took him down, and then he moved on to talk about what happened with Joe Biden 40 years ago. Right. That's the experience we have. But
we have to deal with Afro Megas as well. And
yeah.
And they're pretty much the toughest cookies to crack, because they have their heads stuck in 1978 or somewhere. And they can't see any of the progress over the last 3 years. Yeah. None of that matters because of the crimes bill, or because Obama and Joe let gays into the military, or something weird. But either way it goes, yeah, they're stuck on it, and you can't beat it out of them. And no matter what you say bad about Trump, now all of a sudden they're on this thing where they say, hey, I never said I was a Trump supporter. Like, now they're off of the Trump wagon. But you should still find reason to hate Joe Biden. That's their mind time.
And if you don't hate Joe Biden, then you fail for it. You fail for it.
Yeah.
While they're considering voting for Trump, and they're not falling for it. But anyway, it's just very important that, you know, when you see a headline, Republicans say new bank subpoena transfer shows Hunter Biden listed his father. This looks pretty nefarious, but when you just read a little bit, you'll understand that actually this is on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being totally great and 10 being the most corrupt thing ever. This is probably like 1.5 at that, at best, even if you just consider the headline, because the House Oversight Republicans are a joke. So anything coming from them, you will see that it's a joke. All you have to do is look into it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look and see what they're doing with stories from the other side. How many of y'all saw this story? Now, here we're talking about $250,000. Good sum of money. I'd like to have it right this second.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Wire me some, China.
Especially if you're sending it to my mama house. But this joker here, he got $2 billion from a Saudi investment firm.
With a B.
$2 billion. To me, it seems like I can fit a whole lot of $250,000 into that $2 billion. I bet you plenty of people don't even know that might see this video, unless you watch some of our other videos, that Jared Kushner literally got $2 billion from the Saudis.
They very rarely mention it. They don't talk about it. I mean, it's just really started popping up on the floor where the Democrats on the floor are bringing it up. Like, wait a minute, we hear about this Hunter Biden laptop again. Have y'all seen the $2 billion? You know, they bring it up, but the news media, left, right, both, neither one of them really want to dig deep into that.
They haven't yet. And I'm gonna tell you, there's some nefariousness behind this too. You know, there's things, because the fact of the matter is, Jared Kushner actually worked in the White House.
Yeah.
Under Trump. He was his main guy on Middle East policies. Matter of fact, he was in charge. He was literally in charge of working out the Middle East peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. He put him in charge, even though he had no experience in that. That was pure nepotism. But after he left the office, he gets $2 billion. How many of y'all have gotten $2 billion before?
Yeah.
Let alone 250,000.
Hunter didn't get $2 billion.
No, sir.
But nobody wants to talk about this. So move on to the next story.
All right. Now, here's the next story that we're looking at. Benedict Donald, that's what this says. It doesn't say nothing about, it says Benedict Donald. He defrauded banks and insurers while building a real estate empire.
That's the story that's out today on the left. So
well, no, this is not on the left. This is on. This is just the story. This is what happened when the last president of the United States gets ruled as having defrauded the state of New York. They're going to end up on the front page, regardless of how bad their hair looks.
Ooh-wee.
And the thing that's important about this is this is
China.
This is a death penalty for the Trump organization in New York City and beyond, because a lot of what he does outside of New York is based in New York. But this is literally a federal court ruling that he defrauded the state of New York with his business practices. This is the guy that is still today the #1 candidate for office. This is not saying Donald Trump's son got wired money from somewhere at the tune of $250,000, and it showed up and it was attached to Donald Trump's address. It ain't nothing that benign. This is actually saying your business is a fraud. Part of why this guy got elected in the first place was because of his perceived business acumen. I knew he was a fraud back then. Just so happens he paid $25 million for fraud through another business he had, Trump University. Wow. This was after he was elected, but before he got inaugurated.
And then right after inauguration, he paid another $2 million.
Yeah, 2018, he paid $2 million for a Trump Foundation, because that charity organization turned out to be a fraud. You can look that up. And matter of fact, none of the Trump family members, his daughter, his sons, his 2 sons, none of them can operate a charity again in the state of New York because of that. They can't even give people money no more.
That's it.
Yeah, you done. You can't even help out a panhandler. So this is another instance of fraud by Trump. We had multiple. We just named a couple of them. The fact that he told us that he was not seeking any type of business operations with the Soviet Union, with Russia, while he was running. That turned out to be fraud. He was defrauding the American public then, because he was basically trying to get y'all to invest in him while telling you he was something he was not. He told you that he wasn't doing anything with Russia, but it turns out he had a plan in place for a deal for Trump Tower Russia, going while he was standing on stage lying to y'all.
Trump Tower in Moscow.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh, what does that say? Engoron ordered that some of Trump's business licenses be rescinded as punishment, making it difficult or impossible for them to do business in New York, and said he would continue to have an independent monitor oversee Trump organization operations. Trump ain't even allowed to run his own business.
He can't start a new one.
And he lives in Trump Tower. He can't, he got to pay his own rent to somebody else.
Somebody else is going to collect his own rent in his own building. And please note, they did not even have a trial.
No trial.
This was a summary judgment. The judge looked at the information and he just ruled. He said, y'all keep lying to me, telling me that he got his numbers from his accounting firm. But on the accounting firm's documents, it says that this information was given to me by our client. But now they're in court. The client is in court saying the accounting firm did this to us. They ticked the judge off so much, he started pounding the table. He said, don't tell me this lie no more. He's like, that's it. You're done. Your corporation is done. And now Trump is going to appeal it, but it ain't going nowhere.
Yep. And now the only thing that's left is an actual trial to determine how much more than the $250 million that Letitia James is suing him for is he going to have to actually pay. Yeah.
And again,
this guy in October. It's coming up soon.
Yeah, they're not going to take too much time. And this guy is the best thing that the Republicans got to put up in front of all of you. They take you as an idiot and put this guy in front of you and say, this is who you should pick over Joe Biden, regardless of the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, the IRA, what's it called? The Infrastructure Reduction Act, which worked. It put us in a position where we're the lowest inflation amongst all G7 countries right now. We're riding high. At the same time, our economy is growing. Our GDP is growing. Our jobs are growing. 800,000 manufacturing jobs under this administration. I can go on and on, but that's a whole different topic. But they want you to compare that record to this guy, the guy who told you that you ought to consider an injection of disinfectants on the inside, almost like a cleansing. They want you to compare to this guy. So, I mean,
don't try it at home, folks.
Don't do it. This is not close. So here's the other story we wanted to touch on before we get out of here. Tucker Carlson, he showed up again.
Oh, nah.
He got to whining.
Tuckums.
He got to whining. Old Tuckum. He got to whining and saying, the government told me that I can't interview good old Putin. All right.
Yeah, that was the message I got first thing this morning. The first message that started the whole thing off. And it says, you guys keep believing this propaganda if you want to. That was one of my Afro magas that jumped in there with that. Old Tuckums swears up and down that the government told him not to our government told him that he could not interview Putin. Now, I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but Vladimir Putin is kind of like not currently on the up and up on the world stage right now. He's kind of in the midst of some pretty nefarious activities, sending in soldiers to steal land and raping women and killing kids and mothers and stuff like that. So he's not really at the top of the game right now. And I don't know if it was, let's see, what court, Kev, was it that determined that Tucker couldn't interview this guy?
Tucker's sitting here complaining. He's saying the federal government keeping me from interviewing Putin. I should be able to. They're just stifling free speech all of a sudden, and I'm mad about it. I'm gonna tell the media, y'all.
International Criminal Court issues Putin arrest warrant over child deportations from Ukraine.
This was this year, March 2023. So first of all, my question is, Tucker, you so mad that the government stopped you from interviewing Putin? Well, who are you trying to interview? You trying to interview a guy who is on he's wanted, dead or alive.
The International Criminal Court. Yeah.
The Hague.
Yes. Oh, the Hague. Jack Smith used to work over there.
He sure did. He sure did. Everything ties together, y'all. It's 6 degrees of separation. So you're mad because you believe that Tucker Carlson is telling the truth when he says that the federal government blocked his interview. Well, Tucker, which department blocked your interview? Tucker didn't say that here. He didn't say that in this. As a matter of fact, this is what Tucker said. I tried to interview Vladimir Putin and the U.S. government stopped me. He said in his article published on Thursday, by the way, nobody defended me. I don't think there was anybody in the news media who said, wait a second, I may not like this guy, but I should be able to interview him. Oh, well, how about that? What he did not mention
is at the top.
Oh, it's at the top.
Very top. Right there. Wow.
Right here.
Speaking to Swiss Magazine.
Yes. The former Fox News host did not specify when he had attempted to conduct the interview, giving it as an example of he saw an attempt to subvert democracy. So he didn't even say when he wanted to interview Putin, who told him not to, being it a department or an individual, and why. He didn't say any of that, but this actually made it to Newsweek.
Yeah, and it actually made it to my text message thread this morning.
Yeah, one of our Afro maggots got this, and he sends this along to us.
And he said, talking about this on your show instead of having those all of the Trump hating stuff.
Yeah. So even though Trump is actually still in play as president of the United States, despite his 91 counts, he's out on bail for 91 counts, including espionage and trying to overthrow the United States government. But we should talk about something different, like Tucker Carlson. We need to talk about Tucker Carlson and what he said that the government did or didn't do. This is, and he's actually focused on this. He's just one person, but I promise you, this is getting a lot of traction. It's getting just as much traction as this.
Tucker Carlson is Bill O'Reilly now. That's who he is.
He's Alex Jones.
He's Alex Jones. He'd have been booted off of the mainstream. Now he's in the back alleys working on X.
Yeah, and he got booted off of Fox News, which is unfortunately qualifies as still mainstream. But that was the network that got billed, that got hit with a court case for defamation because they were lying left and right to all of their viewers, all of their millions of viewers, using Tucker Carlson to do it. And they got hit with $787 billion for defamation of damages caused to Dominion Voting, who makes the voting machines that were used in prominent states.
Was it 787 million?
Million.
Yeah,
787 million. Almost a
billion.
billion, which would have been the largest defamation suit ever in the history of the United States, by the way. And Fox News is still facing charges against Smartmatic.
Yeah, Smartmatic.
Smartmatic. Yep.
Yeah.
So this guy didn't even have the credibility enough for Fox News, but this is somebody they throwing at us today as a distraction against this. And they'll tell me, do not focus on Donald Trump. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump. I bet you don't. This is what he does. I mean, he's a fraud.
Yeah. And this is just one count of
one
91.
Case.
He's still got more to go.
This is not actually one of those 91. This was a civil case.
Oh, that's a whole nother one?
Yeah, this is a whole nother one.
Oh.
This was civil.
Oh, the 91
He's got 91
criminal.
federal criminal counts.
Whoa.
Either one of them will put him in jail for the rest of his life.
Probably.
And he's the best thing that the Republicans have. We keep asking y'all. And so the next question is, well, gee whiz, everybody's doing stuff. I mean, look, after all, the Democrats are dirty too, right? No, actually, this is called a fishing expedition. They've been investigating Hunter Biden, I told you, for 5 years through the Justice Department.
Yep, they've had that laptop for 5 years. Well, hard drive, whatever.
For a long
Rudy
time.
Giuliani still has a copy of that thing in his house. You think if there was something on there that was smoking gun, solid, You think you wouldn't have seen it by now? 5 years.
Yeah. Why haven't we seen
wallowing around with it? Rudy Giuliani could put that laptop out right now, and it would give him back a piece of his credibility. He probably won't get to keep his law license, but it might even get him off the hook for having to go to prison or something.
And nothing he could ever do will get him off of the hook for that Borat video.
Nothing.
But just put it in perspective, y'all.
He would have put it out. If it was something on there, he would have put it out by now, just to save face at least, to do something. I'm so curious. I want to see it. I want to see it so I can watch it get batted down to where when they figure out it's all a dang on hard drive from Russia.
A hoax.
From John Paul McIsaac.
Yeah. The blind shopkeeper. Bring me your laptop. Bring me your laptop. I'll fix it and give it to Rudy.
All right. Well, hey, y'all. It's been a gas tonight. We certainly enjoy y'all. We certainly enjoy bringing y'all this info when we run across it. But this is our daily struggle. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're getting ready to expand across all the social media networks. And we're going to actually share it to everybody. So if you're one of our current subscribers and you're feeling alone, never fear. We got more people coming.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be long.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, share, comment. The algorithm loves you for it, especially if you're hating on us. We love to see those too, and we will get right back at you.
We're trying to get some of the haters on screen.
Power to the Afro Maggers. Ooh, ooh.